camera. Well, we'll pause for just a minute while I see if I can figure this out. Get a little behind the scenes action here. I think we're live. All right, see if we can make this happen now. All right, I think we are all hooked up and ready to rock and roll. All right. Yeah. I like the look of this. I think this is, I'm still clearly working out some hardware issues, but I feel like every time I go live, it's a little bit better than the time before. So, one of these times my goal is to have this all set up where I can just click live and everything's ready to rock and roll. I don't need to mess around with my hardware. As fun as it is. And let me see, I'm going to pull up, I don't have my chat window open yet, so if you look in the chat, hold on just a minute. Got to figure out where it is. Put it somewhere that makes total sense. There we go. Now, all right, I've got my chat window open. If you're hold on. One critical component. Man. Just can't do this without forgetting something important. Alright. There we go. Don't forget to hydrate. Very important. There we go. All right. Chat window's open. If you're watching on Facebook, pop over to Twitch. It's twitch.tv/EricXJohnson, and you can chat with me while I torture myself. Today I'm doing VO2 max intervals. Yesterday I did an endurance workout with like AC surges. Not quite full on, not quite full sprints, but it's like it's like a 10 by 2. It went off from there. 2 by 5. Man, my brain is really not working today. I don't even have all the blood in my legs yet. Anyway, so I am still feeling yesterday's workout. This is kind of the first big week for me in this build phase. So this is the most training stress I put my body under in probably 2 months now. And I'm feeling it a little bit. So we'll see how these 3 minutes of VO2 max feels. I feel like I should be able to do it. I'm only doing 5. It's still early on. This is still kind of technically off season, although I'm feeling pretty good about my fitness, all things considered. I mean, I feel about as good as anybody who's got a 7-week-old baby. I feel like I'm doing okay. So cool her down just a hair. Let that heart rate come back down. this all looks good. Frame rate looks good. Hopefully my mic is working. Somebody wants to pop into a chat and let me know if you can actually hear me. That would be awesome. If not, maybe I'll just use gestures. I don't know what any of that means. We're making it up as we go along. I'm feeling just about ready. I'm going to have to, as good as I feel about my fitness, I feel I'm going to have to test myself in a race. Maybe I'll just do one of those shorter, quick city races. Somewhere flat. Always somewhere flat for me. A couple minutes of zone 2 for this warm-up. And for my VO2 max stuff, you can see what I've got kind of set up there. You can see kind of point behind me. Oh, there we go. You can see. I like to do kind of a blast for a minute. 5:05 for 60 seconds is gonna get things working. I think I probably should cut that to. I'll see how it feels. It's part of the warm up. It's not the main set, so. We gotta go crazy with that. So if I fail that one, I'm okay with that. So better failing that one than burning up that gas and not being able to do the work that I intended to when I drew this week up. One thing I noticed right off the bat here is that I'm having to force myself a little bit into a higher cadence. Just body really, I don't know if it's lazy. Muscles are tired from yesterday for sure. So, it's taking a little extra concentration to loosen up and get that cadence up. What happens if you drop your cadence too low in your warm up, say I kick her down a gear, right now I'm putting down more muscular stress than I want to. What I want to do is get my heart rate up, get my muscles loose, get my joints loose without taxing my muscles too hard. You can do that better at a higher cadence. All that stuff happens better at a higher cadence. Doing the figure 8 route today. It's I don't know, it's, all the worlds that they throw at us. It's cool to ride new roads, and I hope they keep adding them. I am sure that they will, but I still like some of the classic Watopia stuff the best. I don't know what it is. Still like the mountain route, the classic mountain route. Hilly route is probably my favorite in this whole game. All right, ready for blast off. Go ahead and get up into that big chain ring. And we'll see what this gear yields. Oh yeah, there we go. That's good enough. And literally good enough. Didn't even fail that one. Yeah, my legs are feeling it for sure. This will be an interesting one. The thing I keep telling myself is it's only 15 minutes. Only 15 minutes of real work. And you'll notice that I put in, so it's 1-to-1 active to recovery, which is pretty classic for VO2 work. Not reinventing the wheel there by any stretch. But for these shorter workouts, some coaches will actually not drop you all the way down into your zone 1. Between those, they'll drop you into the middle of your zone 2. Or depending on where you're at in your plan, maybe the top end of your zone 2. And the theory there is to get a little more a little more time in that zone. And that's totally fine to do that, especially, like I say, in these shorter workouts. But especially early on in a plan like this, I really want to make sure that I'm getting as much quality time in that VO2 max zone as possible. So I'm letting myself fully recover. And then as I gain fitness, I can take and readjust that. But it really does not drop your TSS for the workout by all that much going into zone 1 versus zone 2, as long as you're getting the quality you need out of those VO2 max intervals. So when you start going into those higher zones, it's all about quality, hitting your zones, making sure you're working hard enough. And if you really need to bump that TSS up a little bit more for the workout, you could do another minute at VO2 max, or 2 minutes. Cool. Cool it down. And then get ready for work. So, warming up properly is super critical when you want to talk about getting the most out of limited time. Because I think a lot of folks have a tendency to skip that part. You know, be like, well, I've got limited time, so I'll just jump right into the workout. But you're better off warming yourself up proper and spending that good quality time in those upper end zones. And I can already tell just doing that 1 minute blast, or turned out to be about a 45-second blast. Started into it a little rough and ended a little early. And then 4 minutes just below threshold at a high cadence. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you I feel super fresh, but I do feel better. I do feel more loose. I do feel like I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it through this one. I'm going to fight to the end. Alright, inside a minute. 385. My FTP right now is about 335, 340, depending on what analytics I'm using. And also my brain really thinks it's 341, despite what the charts say. So, alright, here we go. We're ready to rock and roll. So 385, it should not be impossible for me to hold for 3 minutes, is what I'm saying there. We'll just kind of build into it here. Find the right gear, and then find my rhythm. The first one should not be much of a problem. It's the ones at the end where you really start to feel it. The trick is to go hard enough, but not too hard. If you go too hard, that's a different workout. You don't go hard enough, that's a different workout. Oh, yeah, that's right. Big guys. Gotta catch my breath here while I got the chance. Only 4 more of those to go. So the rider in me is like, oh man, I think 2.5 would have been better. 2:30s. And the coach in me is like, you tell those legs to shut up and do what they're told. Yeah, it hurts right now, but that means it won't hurt as bad on race day. And back when I was like racing real hardcore, that was always my objective. Is the place I put myself mentally was is if I went out and got a lead. If somebody else passed me, that's fine. Not a whole lot you can do about that. But I put myself in a place mentally where I'm going to make myself hurt as bad as I can. And if that cat's going to come up and pass me, he's going to have to hurt worse than I am. So, if he can do it, then good on him. And I won a few races that way. All right, yeah, I'm ready to do another 3 minutes. Here we go. Feeling fine. First one's always the hardest. Now I got my legs clearing. Lungs are open. And overshot by a week and a half again. Here we go. I ain't got it. Oh. It's a little disappointing. Only 30 seconds left. But I got enough experience to know when I've had enough. And right now, that line is 2.5 minutes. I think I can do 2.5 minutes 3 more times. And then what I will do with that information is I will go back to my plan, make an adjustment, and you may have heard me say it before, you know, it is so hard to be objective with your own data. By being a self-coach athlete is one of the toughest things. And I'm part of, you know, a coaching group, so it's like I really should probably just have one of my colleagues look at my stuff and get me all sorted out, but you know, there's a lot of ego involved. But in my head, where I'm at fitness-wise is 3 minutes. Like when I drew this up, it's like, I know, because I've done it before. Like I've done it, you know, I've done 3 minutes. But, you know, the way annual training plans go in cycles, you know, I just took a couple weeks off, and now I'm building back, and, you know, you don't use it, you lose it, and you just got to build it back. So, just got to be honest with myself about where I am. And that is so hard to do. Sounds so simple in theory, just like, yeah, just go by the charts, man. You got all the data right there in front of you. I said, yeah, but, you know, I know what the chart says, but I know what I can do. All right, here we go. I'm going to try for 3. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to do this building into it instead of stopping down and overshooting. Let's see if that helps me get to the end. I gotta get my behind a break too. That's it. Oh. Man, oh man. So, part of the issue as well is I would really rather know where I'm at with these AC intervals. I can just feel my power slipping. I would rather cut that interval just a hair short. And you can also see what I'm going to have to do on that last one I just did. When I was building into it, you know, those first few seconds building in probably won't count that. It's a little too much zone 4. And a little dipping into it a little bit, I don't mind, but you know, when I'm looking back at this and looking at my time in zone, I really just want the quality efforts. And you know, I probably do have a 5x3 effort in me. I really think I do, but I think it would have to come on a day of rest, or after a day of rest. It's, I really did beat up my legs pretty good yesterday. It doesn't look that, the one I did yesterday doesn't look that hard on paper, but you know, it's, I felt it for sure at the end of the day. Well, end of the day, this morning, on this ride, I've been feeling it ever since, that's for sure. But even though I feel like I'm letting myself down a little bit, I always feel a little disappointed when I come up to the wall and can't quite get over it. What do? You say you can't do it today and pack it in and go home? I mean, I'm already home, but you know what I mean. No, you keep going, you keep fighting, you do what you can, and you look at the numbers afterward and make adjustments. That way you can keep moving forward. Or if you really tell where that line is, where it's like, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Oh man, I'm not good. you see where it is too? Oh man. Top of the hill. Going for the top of the hill. Okay. Whew. And I would love to sit here and tell you that if you only have an hour or so a day to ride, that there's another way to get faster. But there is no other way. This is the way. I mean, even if you do have the time to do longer, lower intensity workouts, you should still be doing this stuff anyway. It sucks, nobody likes doing it. See how it doesn't feel good, it hurts. You know, and most people stop way before they should. You don't want to hurt that bad. But, and I feel you. I don't want to either. But, I like riding fast. I like having the ability on race day. And physiologically, it does a lot of great stuff for your body too. So, you know, I like having all the benefits of it. It's just not a lot of fun in the moment. I mean, not being a very positive coach. Go out there, go get it. You can do it. You can do anything. Which you can. You absolutely can do it. It's a matter of figuring out where that line is. You got to know where the line is. And you got to be able to just come up to the line. And the next time, you push the line back a little bit further. You know, nobody can just do 4.5 watts per kilogram right off the couch. I mean, if you can, great. That's great for you. That you're the exception. It's all about the process to build up to that point. And it's just patience and discipline, going hard but not too hard. And a willingness to make yourself, you got to take yourself outside your comfort zone. Just like with anything. If you're sitting in your comfort zone feeling good, you're not pushing that line. One thing I can say today is I am pushing the line. All right, come on, man. Last one, best one. All right, that's all she wrote for those. Oh man. So, when you submit a power file to your coach, one of the things that they'll look at is your heart rate in relation to that effort. And they call that the intensity of your intention. And judging from where my heart rate was at, I think Mr. Johnson will get a check plus. I think I gave it what I needed to give it as far as the effort went. I just got to be a little less ambitious maybe with how I'm drawing stuff up, especially early on like this. I was really encouraged, I think, by how taking those 2 weeks off, my FTP didn't drop by quite as much as I thought it would. And so I think in my mind I was like, oh well, my overall fitness hasn't dropped that much. When you spend time off the bike and you spend time away from certain, developing certain skills, it does diminish over time. And you do have to rebuild it. So, just gotta remember to set my ego aside and follow the data. What I could do, looking at a ride like this, so clearly it looks like the wall for me is at 2:30, 2.5 minutes. So probably what I'll do on my next ride is just literally do that, 2.5 on, 2.5 off. just like I've got this one set up. I think the zone feels right. The zone feels pretty good. Looking at where my heart rate lands within that zone looks right. My VO2 max is not as good as I would need it to be to finish that workout. Fortunately, you can rebuild that. So now there's no doubt about the effectiveness of steady state riding, steady state efforts. So that's why I threw this little 15-minute block on here. It's still long enough to get some benefit of that steady state aspect, plus I'm doing it in a fatigued state. So it kind of simulates like you've been doing this kind of ride longer, if that makes sense. Okay, I think it does. And now, depending on how you're feeling, you could ride this a little more in the middle of your zone 2. Despite my legs being tired, and despite my VO2 max happening where it should be, or where I want it to be, not where it should be, change my language there a little bit. I'm going to push this towards the top of my zone 2, which is that 255. And if I push a little over into tempo, I don't mind that a little bit either. But I do want the stress of that 255, and I actually feel reasonably good right here. I feel like I can hold this for quite a while. If my legs were feeling like jello here, I'd probably bring it down 30 watts or so. Well, thanks everybody who's tuned in. If you're watching on one of the other platforms, Facebook or whatever, you want to do me the super coolest, raddest favor of all time, hop on over to Twitch right now. It's twitch.tv/EricXJohnson. And give me a follow, why don't you? That's like a thing you can do, doesn't cost you anything, and shows me a little love and support for the channel. So, it's super awesome of you. I'm talking to you. You may not think I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to you. I don't mean to point fingers either. Sorry, that was rude. Asking you to do me a favor and I'm pointing fingers at you. So you can see what fatigued legs do, even in my zone 2. Well, high 2, low 3. Look where my heart rate is. You know, normally at this effort, my heart rate would be in the mid 140s, and since I'm riding at the top end, and I got some fatigue in me, that heart rate climbs up a little bit. So you get a little more stress, a little more bang for your buck. Well, getting down there. We're closing in. Got my setup here facing a window. I always find it a little ironic every time I'm sitting here pedaling indoors. I see somebody ride by out there on the street. But seriously though, what are you gonna level up out there? Nothing. You know, I'm almost level 33. Right here. Outside I'm still level does not apply. Well, if you want to stick around after this workout, I'll change out of my sweaty gear, towel off a little bit, grab some water, and I will bring, I don't have WKO5 on this computer, but I can bring up my Training Peaks and we can look at a couple of things on that in my coach account, since I'm one of my own athletes. And if I'm honest, one of the things I enjoy the most is looking at those charts after a ride. So, you know, If you're into charts, join me after the ride. We'll spend a couple minutes looking at how I did. You know, it'll be interesting to me. If you stick around, hopefully interesting to you. How we can analyze, you know, the failure of this workout and apply it towards the next one, the next time I do this effort. I mean, I find that stuff super interesting, which I guess is why I do what I do. Oh, awesome. Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I've been, you know, raced mountain bikes. I've been a coach for, I'm trying to remember how long now, over 10 years, I guess. You know, so the one thing I just, I love bikes and I love talking, so it kind of goes hand in hand. If you have questions, if you have, you know, I certainly, I love talking about this stuff, so fire it at me. It's kind of funny, like I'm super new to streaming. I've done some podcasting over the years, and I do have a kind of a video gamer's background a little bit, so, but it's been a long time. So it's been like riding the struggle bus trying to get all this stuff set up. But I feel pretty good about where we're at now. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do something fun. So I see where that arch is putting me. And I feel like I didn't quite get the stress out of this ride that I wanted. So what we're going to do, this is me breaking the rules. I usually say stick to the plan. So, do as I say, not as I do. So if you're doing this workout, you stop right here. You let yourself cool down. What I'm going to do is try to set a PR on this KOM. Which will be interesting because I have no idea what my time is. And I don't get the leaderboard when I'm in a workout. So maybe this guy ahead of me is trying to show me up. So this type of effort is all about pacing. Knowing where your FTP is super handy. If you think about what your FTP actually is, it's more or less the rate. It's kind of like the line of where your muscles are building lactic acid and your lymphatic system is clearing it out. I gotta shut my trap if I'm actually gonna do this. So it's that line of what you can push where you're clearing lactic acid at the same rate as you're producing it. I mean, that's what your lactate threshold is. This is always a little further than I think it is. This is what they mean when they say feel the burn. For the record, that's not a smile, that's a grimace. Get off there. Well, couldn't get that off my screen, but I heard it. Ooh, number 6 on the leaderboard. I think that's what that said, isn't it? Oh, no, no, no. What is that, 16? That's a little more like it. Well, get back to the right window. So, spend a little time now cooling down, which, again, it's maybe a little counterintuitive to, you know, I've been trying to stick to these like time crunch, like kind of hour 15 long workouts, but we just did a little bonus time. And when you do a workout like this, where you build a lot of that garbage in your legs, it's really important, one, you bring your heart rate and your breathing back down, and two, to really spin your legs out and clear all that nonsense out of your legs before you jump off the bike. Otherwise, you're just going to be rolling around with legs full of lactic acid, and you know, this helps reduce that DOMS, the delayed onset muscle soreness. You know, clear it out best you can, and stretch, 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 stretch. Again, do as I say, not as I do. My fiance is a physical therapist, and she's always telling me how I'm going to be a C-shaped old man, because you know, all I do is sit on a bike hunched over. So that is something I'm going to do at a certain point. Is she's put together a stretching program for me. It's cycling specific, and I am one of the tightest cats you're ever likely to see. So you might say, you know, like, oh, I hate stretching because I'm not flexible. You know, which one? I would say that's exactly why you should be stretching. And two, I almost guarantee you're more flexible than I am. I am just super, super tight, especially my hips. Hips, IT band, you know, like it's, and everybody knows, no secret to this, a long muscle is more efficient than a short muscle. So stay loose, stay limber. Raise my cadence up a little bit here. Because again, you know, I said it at the beginning of the ride too, like, the higher cadence just does not feel natural today. Some days it does, some days it does not. So I really gotta, sometimes you really gotta concentrate on that. I'll talk about the I'll talk about that stuff a little bit more on a recovery ride. There's some stuff that I do, you know, some pedaling drills and things like that that help you recover for one, but also they're kind of like pedaling drills that actually make your pedaling more efficient. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1. Yeah, yeah. The cycling probably doesn't help. As far as from what my fiance tells me. So, you know, it's something that we got to be actively battling. So where am I at? All right, I feel good about where I'm at now. I feel cooled down. Heart rate's coming down to 140. So I'm gonna take a short little break. I'll bring up Training Peaks, and I'll take a look at what the heck happened out there today. All right. Bring it on in. Don't be shy. All right. So let's take a look here. I've got my analysis up for training peaks. Oh, I'm going to move my microphone too so you can actually hear me. All right, we'll see how that does. All right, so we're at here. So I always like to come back here and a lot of this stuff really only matters when you're comparing it to kind of other similar workouts. So it's kind of how it kind of to demonstrate how you're improving with kind of the same amount of, or the same types of efforts. But I always like to kind of come back and there's always sort of my favorites that I, my vanity stats, as I like to say, like normalized power, variability index and efficiency factor and stuff like that. It's all super, super important stuff to keep track of. But for one individual workout, those aren't going to be really your vanity stats. Your vanity stats are going to be, like your normalized power. Let's get down to some more of these. Yeah, here we go. So like your average power, your max power. Those are kind of the fun things to always take a look at, and you can get that stuff right off of Zwift. I mean, there's nothing super crazy about that stuff. what I want to see, this is really where I want to dig into this a little bit more here. Let's see. So I really want to isolate a couple of these bad boys. Let's just take that first one where I was like, where I was really not feeling it. So let's zoom in on that bad boy. Alright, so I see I jumped a little early, but kept it pretty smooth. And then right there is where it started to die. So that's what I want to see right here. So we've got that. Yeah, so that's right about 2.5 minutes, like I was thinking. So I'm not really concerned so much about this dive right here, because that's, I know, where I just gave up. Well, I'm really more interested right here is where that power really starts to fade. So, what I'm going to do, just look at one more of these. And when I look at this stuff in WKO5, I actually have more tools at my disposal to analyze. So this is a little bit seat of my pants here. See now, all right. So I look at this one. If I were being objective with my data. You know, if this were another rider, I would be like, you kind of gave up right here. You know, I think you probably could have gone a little. You probably could have hung on to that one a little longer. But as the rider, I'm like, no man, that one hurt. That one hurt real bad. So. You know, it is. It's tough, you know. Let's take a quick peek at time and zone here, and this is now when I time and zone is great. It's you know, it's a great tool. It's not quite as good as eye levels, like your individualized levels that we can get with other analytics. But this gives me a good idea of oh, 5 minutes on the dot there in zone 6. I really honestly was not aiming for, my eye level there is a little higher than the classic zone, I think, in that case. But anyways, about 10 minutes in VO2 max, I was aiming for 3 by 5. So I was aiming for 15 minutes. So if I got 9 there, so I actually somehow hit my targets, according to this. So I'll have to go back and in my better software, take a look at that and make sure that if I'm going to make a change to my plan, that I'm doing it in the wisest way possible. So yeah, spent a fair amount of time in recovery. Let's take a quick peek down the road here and see. So we got because this is where I look at this stuff, and I spent way more time than I wanted to down here. You're always going to spend a little bit of time there because you're ramping up and ramping down a little bit. So it's always going to show up. So I would say, yeah, according to this, I did not spend. Man, I really wish I had my WKO5. I'll have to work on that because that's it's more fun for me than I don't really like these charts that much. See if there's anything else fun to look at here. See, my camera is positioned right over my peak power chart. Let's see if I can move that over. So this is something when we start doing more analytics in WKO5. This is the power duration curve is really kind of what we're looking for, and that's where your eye levels are set at. Is you'll have a 90-day power duration curve. So let's take a look at that. See, I don't like how that jumps from 2 to 5 minutes. I want to see if I can zoom in on that a little bit. Okay, I guess that's what I get. I really want to look at that at 3 minutes. So I spent 2 minutes at 381, which is what my target was for those intervals. 5 minutes is 325, which really is not that huge of a drop. So I don't know if I really need to make a huge change on this one. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to maybe 245 on, 245 off. And again, and this is where I got to decide: am I letting my ego get in the way? Am I so married to this idea that I can do 3 minutes 5 times. And a guy could certainly argue that it would be better to come up a little short with the workout design than to fail, but you can also argue the other side of that as well, that it's, you should be failing in your workouts once in a while. I feel like I failed a little more often than I would really like to the last couple of weeks. And I think I've just been a little too ambitious with what I've been trying to get out of these workouts. So I think I need to just dial it back just a hair, even though that's really painful for me to say out loud. But I think that ultimately that's going to lead to better, more consistent gains. So we'll see. Let's go back here and see what I've got on. Take a look at my calendar, see what I've got on the table tomorrow. This is one that I've got to redesign. So I'm not quite ready for this. This essentially is what I'm aiming for here. Is let's take a look at what my TSS for the week is. If I'm aiming for 400 on my plan, and I'm at 340. Well, if I put in a 60 TSS effort tomorrow, I will be right at 400. So, sticking right with the plan. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to redesign this. I'm going to plug in one of my warm-ups that I really like. I don't like these ramp warm-ups. So we'll do. We're going to do. It's a little more of a steady state day tomorrow. So, which is like I said, which is good. I think my legs definitely could use a break from the high intensity stuff, and then we'll follow this up with a rest day. And now you could definitely argue if I was. This is another area where I'm like really married to a certain idea, and I don't know if it's always in my best interest. I really like to pack 2 days, 2 hard days next to each other to get a little bit more stress. You really feel it in your legs on that second day, like what happened today. I think if I were going back and drawing this 3-week block up again, I think what I would do here is swap these 2 days. I would probably do my one, and one of the reasons why I didn't do it that way is because technically that would be putting 2 aerobic days next to each other, and so I was like, well, I want to throw in, I've got my 2 hard days, and then I'm mixing up my aerobic days on Friday and Saturday, or Friday and Sunday. But I think just looking at it from a TSS standpoint, I think that would have made a little bit more sense to go 80, 60, 90, and then take a rest day. So, ultimately, it's about this number here, and this number here, and there are different ways how you get there. But that's really bottom line. What matters the most is that you're putting in those consistent levels of stress. So we'll definitely talk more about that as the build continues. So I think I have talked myself out. I do really love looking at charts, so I'm definitely going to have to get. So I've got the issue is I've got the I've got the Mac version of WKL5. It's a different. This is a Windows computer, so it is. It's a different program. I just have to buy another copy of WKL5. But let's take a look at average speed. Did I even take a look at that? Average speed 19.3. Felt faster than that. That's alright. Alright, so I will see you. I don't know exactly what time tomorrow, but I will see you tomorrow with some tempo, steady state, endurance tempo stuff. So that'd be a good day for if you have any questions. I should have my breath with me. So, but thanks for watching, and give me a follow, and I will see you tomorrow.